spray. Why let those dishes pile up? Don't just spray cleans them super fast. Just spray, wipe and rinse. Baby's taking a nap. Clean those bottles and snap. Just spray, wipe and rinse. Dawn dish spray, it's a spray for your dishes. Smoothie mess in a blender. Clean it easy, can't bad. Just spray, wipe and rinse. Don't power wash dish spray. How's it work again? Just spray, wipe and rinse.
Get a COVID-19 booster. They help keep you and others safe from the virus and its variants this season and beyond. If it's been at least 6 months since your last dose of Pfizer or Moderna, or at least 2 months since your last dose of J&J, it's time for a booster. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find a booster near you. Let's keep our immunity strong. Get your booster and a flu shot while you're at it, too. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Hold on to your mugs, because Panera's Unlimited Sip Club is offering the unreal deal of unlimited coffee for only $8.99 a month. Don't worry, you're not dreaming, because when we say unlimited, we mean unlimited. Unlimited boosts all day long. Unlimited smells of your favorite aroma. Unlimited sips of premium hot and iced coffees. Sign up on our app today to get your first month free. Panera, the familiar meet fantastic. Plus tax, first free month, limited time offer. Restrictions apply. For complete details, visit www.panerabread.com/unlimited sip club.
Why? They're not accessible for people with disabilities. That's where California Connect comes in. California Connect is a public program that provides communications equipment and services for deaf and disabled Californians. Whether you have vision, memory, mobility, speech, or hearing disabilities, California Connect has a customized solution that makes it easier for you to stay connected. Visit c-a-connect.org or call 1-855-441-1451 to apply today. California Connect. Communicate your
97.
way.
No matter how good you think you are with handling your personal finances, we all have those moments where it can be really overwhelming. Hey, it's Derek. You're not the only one that feels that way. I feel you. Credit Karma is here to help you make those big calls with more confidence. Whether you're refinancing credit card debt or paying for an upcoming expense, Karma Confidence technology automatically identifies the loans that you're most likely to be approved for from a list of trusted lenders. And members who compare loan offers on Credit Karma save an average of 32% on interest rates. The best part is that it's completely free, and comparing loan offers won't affect your credit score. Credit Karma even tracks your progress and lets you know if you can refinance and save money. So are you ready to apply? It's easy. Head to creditkarma.com/loan offers to see personalized offers with your approval odds right now. Go to creditkarma.com/loan offers to find the loan for you. That's creditkarma.com/loan offers.
Your break for Bacon Bite. Ah, yes, the open road. Just you and your hunger. And if you listen carefully, you can hear what it's craving. Bacon, extra bacon, or strips of crispy bacon stacked on a charred beef patty with melty cheese. Satisfy your bacon craving with a Bacon Beast Burger or the Bacon Beast Burrito with melty cheese for breakfast. Try the new Bacon Beast menu from Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. Available for a limited time at participating Carl's Jr. restaurants. Bacon Beast Burrito available during regular breakfast hours. Price was
I'm inviting you to a free financial webinar with current, critical information about your money. Are you worried about the world, COVID, politics, and how they all affect your money? Does the thought of the stock market crashing give you cold sweats at night? Does the 2008 stock market meltdown still haunt you? Want to preserve and protect your money? Did you know reducing risk from 50% down to 10% could potentially save $400,000 in losses on a $1 million portfolio? Having an extra $400,000 goes a long way in retirement. Do you have questions about creating dependable retirement income, minimizing losses, slashing your fees in half, cutting taxes, an actual plan? We'll cover all this on our free weekly webinars held Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Go to www.peakfin.com. That's PEAKFIN.com.
The biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Artists and songs you've listened to over the past year on iHeart-Radio. Nominees include
Justin Bieber, Adele, Weeknd, Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, Dua Lipa,
Drake, and that's just the beginning. The biggest stars from pop, hip-hop, country, alternative, rock, R&B, Latin music, and more.
All sorts of formats, all sorts of styles.
Find a full list of nominees and start voting for your favorites now at iHeartRadio.com/awards.
Tell us who our fans are voting for this. Let's go.
The countdown is officially on to our 2022 iHeart-Radio Music Awards.
A joyride. You, your car, and an open road. Maybe your best friend, too. The music is chill, and so is the traffic. You and your friend both look over at each other, and then he puts his head back out the window. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Allstate and affiliates offer products and services subject to availability, terms, and conditions.
Millions are watching Newsmax. Available now on major cable systems or for free on smart TVs like Samsung, LG, and Vizio. Find it streaming on Roku, Xumo, Pluto, Amazon Fire, TiVo, Apple TV, and more. 7 million Americans have downloaded the free Newsmax app on their smartphones. It takes just seconds. Then watch us anytime, anywhere. Forbes calls Newsmax a news powerhouse. Find out why. Start watching today.
Save on your favorite seasonal ingredients at the place where savings are always in season. Your local Rayleigh's or Bel Air. Stretch your dollar even further when you shop the deals in our weekly ad. This week, take home lean and tender USDA choice Rayleigh's boneless untrimmed tri-tip roast, sold in the bag and on sale for only $3.97 a pound. Pair it with a side of fresh green asparagus, on sale for just $1.97 a pound. Find fresh ingredients at fantastic prices, in-store or online at Rayleigh's and Bel Air.
Ends Monday. New Toyotas are arriving daily. Lock in low financing on Toyota's hottest cars, trucks, SUVs, and hybrids during the final days of this event. Toyota, let's go places. All offers with approved credit.
But what I did choose was to get help from a professional counselor.
For no-cost gambling addiction counseling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text SUPPORT to 53342. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
On the free iHeart, set the mood for your Valentine with Love Songs Radio, playing the most romantic songs of all time, from today's hits to the all-time classics. Feeling nostalgic? Go to ValentineMachine.com. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love.
$3.50 nacho and $4.50 bacon-loaded Nacho Tiny Tacos have nacho cheese flavor in every bite.
Really? Let me see.
Okay. Slow down.
You're right, Jack.
Save one for me. This tax, limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
The soothing scent of Vicks Vapor Rub. That cooling, comforting smell generations have come to trust to help them feel better. Vicks Vapor Rub. It's still here for you.
Courtepassie Tile and Stone. Courtepassie's huge selection of stone, porcelain, and glass, coupled with over 60 years of experience in high-end design, makes your home improvement dream a reality. Visit their showroom in Sacramento. Courtepassie Tile and Stone.
Men, your health isn't about only one problem. Whether you're struggling with your weight or dealing with symptoms of low testosterone or ED, you need a specialized healthcare professional who understands the big picture. So, I want to tell you about Revive Men's Health. For the last 10 years, Revive Men's Health has helped tens of thousands of men with clinically backed treatments for low T and ED. Now Revive Men's Health is bringing this breakthrough approach to weight loss. Revive will create a weight loss plan specifically for you, built on custom nutrition and metabolism boosting treatments that are backed up by ongoing support to make sure you keep that weight off. Revive Men's Health specializes in custom treatments. So what are you waiting for? This month only, Revive Men's Health is offering free initial consultations and an exclusive weight loss offer. Bring in a friend and you'll save 25% when you both start your weight loss program. Call 844-4-REVIVE.
Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton of Big C Sports for the Charlton of Big C Sports, coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America, and Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe. According to me and people who love sports, all fair and level. Where I really want to say thank you to Revive Men's Health. We all got to revive something after eating all that chocolate on Valentine's Day. I eat chocolate every day. Every day should be, wait a minute, I just saw a clue. Valentine's Day is Black History Month. We should get chocolate every day. Everybody gets chocolate. I get that the praise. Give chocolate some praise. I just figured it out. Valentine's month is considered the chocolate month. We can all eat more chocolate today. So it's sponsored by your chocolate eating Big C Sports Podcast. Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers. Home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. When you go by and test drive, you'll tell them Charlie wants more chocolate. That thing's in here. You can follow us all around the world on 23 podcast applications all over the universe. Really do appreciate that. You know, Chocolate Day. Every day should be Chocolate Day. Why did it just take me that long to figure that out? Everybody will love chocolate all over the world. If we could just treat people the same, you can follow Big C Sports on 23 podcast applications on Google, Alexa, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, iHeart-Radio Podcast, Castbox Podcast, Deezer Podcast, Podcast Addict, and number 10, Podchaser. Give me some praise for catching my breath and getting the number 10. Come on now, don't act like you can't count the 10. It's not as easy as it may seem. You got to do that. You can also follow Big C Sports Podcast on GeoSavan Podcast out of London, England, Podtail Podcast, YouTube Podcast, Hubhopper, Stitcher Podcast, Radio Line, Repod Podcast, Luminary Podcast, Listen Notes, Podcast Wise, Verbal Podcast, and allfeeds.ai. Get that some praise on a beautiful February the 15th, 2022. Rondo Deportes, bonjour, de Vidi Vici. I love saying welcome to the show. I love so much about today. Black History Month. Every day is Black History Month. All I got to do to look at Black History Month is I just look in the mirror. Beautiful chocolate. Tastes better when it's hot, if that makes sense to you. The best part of waking up is Big C chocolate. Is chocolate in your cup? I don't know, whatever it is. I guess I've had so much chocolate made me a little bit loopy today. But this weather is so windy in Northern California, gives me a little bit of allergies. So I'm fighting back, trying not to sneeze, and also doing the Big C Sports Podcast. You can also follow Big C Sports streaming on 4 TV applications on Xfinity Comcast TV. You can follow Big C Sports on Apple TV, on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. Give that some praise. Come on, Big C Sports Podcast. When you think about it, 23 podcast applications, 4 TV applications. All I'm saying is, show me the money! Tom Cruise, what did Tom Cruise say? Show me the money! It's all fair and love and war. I'm reading this book by Jeff Olson. I've read it before. People might say, he's not reading the Bible? I'll read more than that. It's called The Slight Edge. It's a way of thinking that enables people to make the daily choices that will lead to success and happiness. As if Jeff Olson would know. Everybody goes through something. I even saw where Kanye West sent Kim Kardashian a whole truckload of flowers after he broke up with his girlfriend. Yeah, that man has balls, doesn't he? He sent her a truckload of flowers after he broke up with his girlfriend. You gotta be, the man's got some cojones. Oh my goodness. After he breaks up with his girlfriend, he sends her a truckload of flowers. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks that's funny. I think it's funny. You can also follow Big C Sports on so many different platforms. Really do appreciate that from 23 podcast platforms. I apologize if I sneeze. I'm going to try to hit the kill mic, but I don't want to sneeze, but I do my show live. I don't have any staged anything, but I love paying homage to my family legacy. And on my mother's side, that's the only reason that I'm here today. And I really do appreciate so many things. But my great-grandmother, Mamo, and she's the matriarch of the family on my mother's side. Wonderful, beautiful, intelligent woman. Did everything to keep the family together and strong. Even grew a garden and had some fruit trees in the backyard, some chickens. First time I had chicken, is she went outside and grabbed that chicken. You can close your eyes or plug your ears. She grabbed the chicken by the neck and said, dinner's ready in about an hour. Oh, man. I'd rather eat it than know how it's consumed. But, hey, I'm not the only one that eats chicken. But really do appreciate that. And then my great-grandfather, the patriarch of the family, a former Negro League baseball player, very intelligent in the church and known as making the best moonshine in the universe. And saying, boys, get out of that barn. Oh, so boys, get out of that barn before, you know what, if I gotta tell you one more time, may lightning not strike you. Get out of that barn, boys. We would put water in the moonshine barrels, and we would wonder, like, how does he know? Anyway, I want to say I appreciate that. And then my grandmother, Muddy, a wonderful, intelligent woman, a seer. She's hardworking. She could look at that person and tell you things about that person. It was kind of scary at times until I understood the wisdom of it, and really do appreciate things that she does for me even to this day. And then my grandfather Hezekiah, another wonderful gentleman. Really do appreciate everything I've learned from my ancestry. Really proud of my mama, the most wonderful mom ever in the history. When I'm saying this, I mean it, of the universe. Started a Head Start program in Northern California, a food program, and also helped win the Little League Championship. But the universe, give mama some praise. Come on, y'all. I mean that. A Head Start program, a food program to make sure that no child would go hungry, and then help coach the Little League baseball team to the championship. Even though some of our Christians said, I will not have my kids listen to her. She said, quit. We won the championship anyway. I really do appreciate that. Always saying, rise and shine. On my father's side of the family, the patriarch of the family is Albert Curry, intelligent man, had 2 service stations in Oakland, California. Also a pastor, had 2 churches in Oakland, built a 3rd church in Central California, always doing what he could to keep business going. Really do appreciate that and keep the family strong. My grandmother, Alberta Curry, working right along with my grandfather, Albert Curry, with the 2 service stations in Oakland, California. Also 2 churches, as well as helping build a 3rd church in Central California. There are a lot of people now that just have so much of a legacy. I'm going to talk some more about Black Americans and what Black Americans have done in the world of sports also. Just a lot of good things, very proud of. And then my father, former Air Force fighter pilot, chief mechanic, make sure that planes can fly high so we can all stay safe at night. And Dayton depends on military, so hopefully what's going on with President Biden and also Vladimir Putin, hopefully they can have calmer heads prevail. Don't need anyone doing anything foolish, if that makes sense to you. And then I want to say my brother Todd, with his bombastic voice, oftentimes sound like thunder. It sounds like thunder and lightning when Todd would speak. One of our favorite movies was Pulp Fiction. It reminded me of Super Bowl 56 when Ben Rames told Bruce Willis, your butt goes down in the 4th round. And that's what Aaron Donald told Joe Burrow, your butt goes down in the 4th quarter. That stinking sensation you're feeling, that's pride messing with you. Blake Pride. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. I really do. Man, what a windy day, Northern California. Also want to say thank you to my beautiful daughter, Daisy. I say the most beautiful daughter in the history of the universe. A college graduate, graduated with honors in 3.5 years with 2 majors. Really appreciate that. Also, one of the first to help me set up interviews for Big C Sports Podcast back at Salem Media, and then would help me set up when coaches would come to the West Coast. Really do appreciate Daisy. Very smart, industrious. Just really appreciate her. And then my very handsome son, Malcolm, the most handsome son in the history of the universe. A college student and very smart, hardworking, industrious. As I always say to Malcolm, Wakanda forever. Never let anybody get in the way of your family. Nobody. If they won't do it for themselves, then why would they have them do it to you? No one should ever get in the way of that. Malcolm's so smart. He sends me stats on NBA basketball. And sometimes I would look up stats and try to find stats. I was going through the paper, just turning pages. He said, Dad, why don't you just Google it? So I started saying, why don't you send me stuff on the NBA? So it does that. Really do appreciate that. And then Big C, with all of his knowledge, as well as the knowledge on the past, you got to believe, you got to believe, you got to believe. Give him all some praise. Come on, I say give everybody praise, praise, praise. I love giving praise on the Big C Sports Podcast. It means so much to me. Love doing the show. And the way things are going right now, there's a lot more coming to Big C Sports in 2020, especially show me the money, $100 million. If Joe Rogan can get $100 million for being racist, then I'm going to be racist. Hey, if it pays $100 million, I can be racist. It's just not in my spirit. I was raised too well. I have good parenting. They taught me to treat everybody the way you want to be treated. And they oftentimes said, people won't turn the favor. They will do a lot of things behind your back. And I appreciate my parents telling me that, like I tell my own children. Anyone that would try to destroy your family, blankety blank them. Blankety blank them. Forget them. If that makes sense to you. And someday they will understand that. I really do appreciate it. And that's why my grandparents and my parents always told me, Let's get ready to rumble. I love saying that. I mean that. Welcome to the show, Big C Sports Podcast, the SC-nominated Big C Sports Podcast. No scripts, no three-way teleprompters. People might say, that's painfully obvious. Probably know there's no scripts to the show. Also, no teleprompters, no headset. Only thing I have in my ear is a little bit of earwax. And I try to use Q-tips, but Q-tips push the earwax back inside the ear. It's best if you use a bobby pin that pulls the wax out. But then if you're out of chapstick, what are you going to do to keep your lips soft? It's all fair in love and war. I tell you, I always pay homage to God. I walk and talk by faith, not by sight. And I really do appreciate that. I think I'm the only sports show in the universe that's not afraid to give God some praise, other than saying, God, thank you. Because a lot of those shows, they have other people who couldn't care less about the Lord. They just want to get the money and all that other junk. I just want to say this too, as I always produce the show. I direct the topics. I broadcast the shows. All the sound effects are provided by the agency. We can all use more laughter in our life. Really do appreciate that. And what makes me also, I really appreciate it, the commercials, the stats providing, the storytelling. Now that the Super Bowl 56 is over, you're going to hear more Steph Curry for 3. You know, maybe I need to do another play-by-play because Ben Simmons is going to start playing again for the Brooklyn Nets. And I just want to take one moment. He came out and he said he was dealing with some mental health issues. And a lot of people said, well, we don't believe him. He's talking now. Why wasn't he talking then? Who's to say if somebody's going through issues or not? People go through issues, and sometimes it affects them in a way that physically it manifests. And so if he's having some issues, if anyone can realize ever having someone criticize you in the public's eye, and some people don't like it when someone who knows them criticizes them. Imagine the person criticizing you or knowing what you're doing in the dark. Imagine them when it comes out in the light, in bright daylight. I had a friend of mine, she told me just about a week ago, and people go through all kind of stuff with COVID. You know, families falling apart, all kind of junk. But there's a woman who says, hey, I'm Catholic. And I'm not going to say her name because she listens to the show. But she said that her husband got ill. And she said she wishes her husband would have died so she could have gotten a life insurance policy. Oh, but she's Catholic. She's so religious. And I thought, what a jacked up person. I said, how could you think such a thing? She said, oh, you have no idea what he's put me through. And so for people going through their own mental stuff, no one can blame or accuse anybody else. But that's pretty jacked up. If you don't want somebody, just leave. You don't have to end up going to prison for it, if that makes sense to you. So whatever Ben Simmons was dealing with, everybody goes through something. And I just wanted to make sure I gave that story. I know people who confide in me about things where they have these jacked up relationships, where families turn on families, trying to hurt each other for no reason. So whatever he's going through, for anyone that says he's lying, look at that person in the mirror and ask yourself, have you ever had a crisis in your life? Keep that in mind, because oftentimes when Black Americans say they have a crisis, people want to say, oh, I don't believe them. But the whole Me Too movement comes out and say they had a crisis, and everybody says, let's all give them praise. Come on, y'all. The man was going through stuff. He's gone through stuff. I go through my own crap. Everybody does. You just got to stay strong through all of it. Isaiah 54:17, no weapon formed against me will prosper. No weapon. At the same time, I love honoring the Bible. I grew up listening to it. Some people don't believe in that. That's okay too. But one of the favorite scriptures and verses that I've heard, and I say it to myself all the time, it's in Genesis 13:15, the New King James Version. For all the land that thou seest will I give you, and thy seed forever. And the book of James chapter 4 verse 2 said, you have not because you ask not. If you want something, just ask and give the good book some praise. I said, give it some praise, praise, praise. Really do appreciate that. I was having a conversation with my pastor, and he was telling me that he and his wife on their 49th year anniversary. He said they've been through their own crap. But one thing he never did is he never let another person that had their own crappy marriages come into his household and put that crap on his family. And some of the same people that was giving him advice about how he could fix his marriage, they're not even together anymore. So why in the hell would he listen to them? Oftentimes, people love to bring pain when they have their own jacked up lives. It just manifests on the outward. So keep your mind out of my business. Give that some praise. I said, give us some praise. Shut your mouth. What does it say? Loose lips, six sips. And he knew what he was talking about. So he did. Maybe I've had too much chocolate. My show's different today. I also want to say thank you to Xfinity Comcast TV and Comcast Spotlight Effect TV for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3. God said, let there be light. Open your cell phones or electronic devices and say play Big C Sports Podcast, and you'll see our show pop up all over the world. I mean, all over the universe. It's everywhere. And I'm telling you, when I was growing up, I used to take record players apart. And my mama would always say, boy, put that thing back together. And so I put the record player back together, and there were always some extra parts in my hand that wouldn't go back in. She never got mad at me. She just said, try to put it back together. And now I realize that record player, we used to play our music loud, and sometimes you could hear it outside and across the street, etc. You know, teenage boys, at least we were at home. And I lived next door to a pastor, and he would oftentimes just walk by and say, hey, God bless you guys. But he never really complained about anything. And I'm just saying this because I remember as a young boy, I must have been about 6 years old, and I would take record players apart. And now, because I was not chastised over it, boy, go to your room. I was just told, try to put it back together. It gave me the confidence to do what I'm doing now. And now Big C Sports is heard all over the earth, or as I would say, all over the universe. Give that some praise. Give that some praise, because I didn't have my spirit broken. I wasn't told, I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you're doing that. I was just told, hey, try to put it back together again. Never got it back together again all the way. But now I have a Big C Sports podcast. It goes all over the world. So I love giving out some scripture, because somebody someplace is just like Ben Simmons, or just like I've been. That's why I give out the Veterans Crisis Hotline. They help people who are going through issues. You hear more and more sports shows doing it now. Well, Big C Sports was doing it 3 years ago when Big C brought it up, because people go through crap and you need someone to turn to. And I think Smokey Robinson had a song called Smiling Faces. Smiling faces, tell lies. And I got a few. And he also had maybe that wasn't Smokey Robinson, but it was the Tears of a Clown. Tears of a Clown when there's no one around. So for a kind of a colleague, work friend of mine that told me she wished her husband had passed away when he got sick from COVID because of all the crap that he's done to her behind closed doors. I mean, sometimes that's what I say. If someone's abusing you, call the police. No one has a right to do that. Pick up the phone. You don't have to wish that someone passes away. Pick up the phone and call the police. Whether it's a man or a woman, no one has a right to put their hand on you. No one has that. So give caller 911 some praise if that's what it takes. And I'm just saying, I'm not trying to judge her. I thought it was a crappy thing to hope that someone would pass away, but he was beating the crap out of her. Mainstream, though, you know, no one thinks they're doing anything wrong. Beating the crap out of her. And she survived it. It's a shame. It's a shame, but a lot of women put up with that crap, and some men do too. Some people will let the outside enemy destroy their family. When the outside enemy, like my pastor says, has their own jacked up relationships. That's why they're going outside of their own jacked up house, trying to bother somebody else because they're jacked up. And you know who you are. All's fair in love and war. At the same time, I told you I had a lot of chocolate. If you know, I want to say also going into the world of sports agency, Big C Sports, becoming accredited to work as a sports marketing agent. And that's going to be by 2022. And that industry produced in 2021 over $41.2 billion in contracts. Isn't that something? So I've been pulled into that. Invited into that. Really do appreciate that. But I have the reach. I have the contact. I have the passion for it. And it's amazing when you show up, people recognize. And game recognize game. And I'm telling you, from tearing apart radios and record players when I was a little boy, about 6 years old, and now a show that's heard all over the world. And it doesn't matter what anybody says. And I have something I want to say to other men of color too. Oftentimes, people will try to destroy you and tell you can't do something by attacking your family. They want to attack their own jacked up families, but they'll try to attack yours. You know what I say? Blickety blip them. Blip them. Don't let anybody do that to you. You got a problem? Come see me, if that makes sense to you. I also want to say for the sports marketing industry, some of the top agents that would be working along with Big C Sports, representing NFL athletes, Major League Baseball athletes, and NBA athletes, as well as top players in the sports. I want to say this right. In the sports universe, give that some praise. Come on, give that some praise. You're either growing or you're shrinking. You got to keep growing, and I'm growing leaps and bounds. The universe is always expanding. The universe is always expanding. The book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. It's a way of thinking that enables you to make the daily choices that will lead you to the success and happiness that you desire. And the Slight Edge makes you aware of the unwritten rules that we all live by and just we're not aware of. And it explains that there are principles in an easy-to-understand manner that will have you reevaluating those insignificant decisions you make every day. I also want to just give this out too, because just a couple of days ago, I ran across somebody, and not to get too personal, but this person, ironically, I won't even go there because it's none of my business. Let me shut my mouth. It's none of my business. Just shut your mouth some praise. I'm going to shut my mouth, but she knows what she offered, and I'm not interested. Keep it to yourself. At the same time, I want to say sports bettors, if you're out there betting on sports, and oftentimes people have issues, you want to make sure that you get some help. I want to thank the California Lottery and the California Super Lotto, whether it's Powerball, Mega Millions, or Fantasy 5. If you have people going through issues, maybe gambling more than they can afford, 800-GAMBLER. Pick up the phone, get them some help. Call 800-GAMBLER. That's GAMBLER. A former football coach, Steve Mariucci, former coach of the San Francisco 49ers, now I believe works with the NFL Network. He was doing a PSA and a commercial on that also for Super Bowl 56 and also in the playoff games going up to it. But it's an issue that a lot of people have. And I want to just make sure I do my part to give it out to. And I want to make sure I also give out the Veterans Crisis Hotline. They really are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. If you know anybody going through issues, pick up the phone, call 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net and give that some praise. Come on, give the first responders some praise. I saw, irrespective of what people think, I saw some people, and I guess in a downtown area, they were holding signs saying stop the mandate, that they don't want to have people protected from the spread of COVID. They even deny what happened back in 1918, where I think over 2 million people lost their lives on the virus also. So I listened to my doctor, but I hope and I wish, if you don't want to get the mandate, if you don't want to have yourself covered, just have them sign a waiver that if you get sick, that you can't go to the hospital and take up the hospital services that somebody else needs. Because they're going to start lifting the mask, and they're going to tell people don't get that, whatever. Some people don't even want to get their kids immunized when they're born. Measles, whooping cough, whatever it is. They vaccinate children when they're born. When you join the military, you don't even get a say-so. They give you vaccination before you go into a foreign country. So for those who want to turn away from it, just have them sign a waiver that the hospitals can refuse treating you too if you get sick and don't take up the space of somebody who's trying to stay safe. I know that's my own PSA, not telling people what to do, but don't just, whatever it is, help the people who are trying to do whatever it takes to stay safe. So I think that's just it was really on my mind. I wanted to get that out there. I told you I'm dealing with some allergies today, so my show's a little bit different, but I want to make sure, I want to say thank you to Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, but it's 100% honest game. Sports fans, when you're watching the big game, you want to eat the Big C burger. It's a tasty burger and it comes with what's all the exotic meats and exotic meats or on the Big C burger. I don't even know what the meat is. All I know is it tastes good. Rumor has it tastes better in your mouth than it does in your hand. I also want to say, coming soon, the Big C coffee. It only comes in one size, extra large. You can't have a small cup of coffee, the Big C coffee. If you got too much, take it in a smaller cup. Oh my goodness, what a great world we live in. Only in America, everything's great. I want to just say again, congratulations to the Super Bowl 56 champion, the Los Angeles Rams. What a game it was in Super Bowl 56 at beautiful SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. And now the next thing that's coming up is the parade. But before I even get to that, I want to just say this is sweeping the country also for colleges. Now, maybe I'm prescient, maybe I'm not, but I was saying that President Biden is going to write off student loans retroactive to 2000. And I was saying that. People can say, oh, you're just talking, you don't know what you're talking about. But I've been saying it all over the airwaves over the past year. Now, California plans to reward volunteering. Listen up. It's important. Volunteering college students. Gotta understand, a new California volunteer financial aid program for college students is using less than half of its budgeted money on actual student aid. Now, this came out February 7th, 2022. I was talking about it back in 2021. It comes out of the state capital of California, Sacramento. A new California program to financially reward college students for volunteering has drawn national attention all across the country. Less than half of its budgeted money going to actual student aid. So the California Volunteers College Corps program, backed by $159 million and mostly state money, it promises to award up to $10,000 to over 6,000 low-income students who volunteer in the K-12 education on climate action or to reduce food insecurity. So it's more than one way. It's just a start, but that works out to about $66.7 million for students. So when you think about it, there's other $92 million going on. The point is, there's going to be a way to start writing down student loans or to make college free for a lot of people at the university level. I believe junior colleges are nearly free or less than $100. I could be wrong about that. You can Google that for your state. But I just wanted to bring that up for college kids who are volunteering. I know California State University, Sacramento is going to be one of those colleges, and I think it's going to sweep nationwide. And that's going to be a sea change for a lot of kids going to college. As far as the Super Bowl 56, believe it or not, I tell you, sports is $1 billion industry. It topped TV viewership of over 100 million people. Isn't that something? Watching Super Bowl 56, over 100 million people, which is amazing. This comes out of New York City. The Super Bowl rebounded to draw an estimated 101.1 million TV viewers who saw the Rams beat the Bengals 23-20 on a late game drive. And that shows the dominance of the NFL and the audience. That was a 6% increase over the 95.2 million TV viewers who saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Kansas City Chiefs last year in 2021. And that comes out of a Nielsen company. And when you think about how big TV is for football, the ratings improvement for what is traditionally the most watched event of the year was no surprise given the run of terrific playoff games leading up to it. We had a 17-game season for the first time in the history of the NFL. The viewership for the NFL divisional round, it was up 20% over last year. And the conference championship games were up 10% according to Nielsen. So that's a lot of good news for the people that bring in TV revenue and sell TV advertising. And when you think about it, besides the games, there's a lot of hope that the COVID-19 pandemic may be winding down because a lot of smart people got vaccinated. That's just my own opinion. People don't have to do it if they don't want to. It's not a mandate. They are saying that some people can't keep working at certain industries if they don't get or show proof of vaccination. I know from media, couldn't get inside of a game if I didn't show proof of vaccination. And also, when you think about the halftime show with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Eminem, Mary J. Blige, also was a hit for NBC Sports, and they expressed hope that the The game will kickstart ratings for the otherwise disappointing Winter Olympics in Beijing. NBC said another 11.2 million people streamed the game this year, putting the audience at about 112 million people, and the audience for television was up streaming for about 12.6% over last year. So football is growing. The most watched Super Bowl ever is still the 2015 game between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks, when Russell Wilson, who's sitting by the commissioner, Roger Goodell, refused to get the ball to beast mode from the 1-yard line, the best running back in the NFL. They would have had a back-to-back championship wins in that Super Bowl, if that makes sense to you. But he decided not to. It still had 114 million viewers, and most of those viewers were from the state of Washington, as they were all breaking their television sets. All spread level war. But football is king. So I love being able to work in this industry. Really do appreciate it very much. The Olympics, they have their own issues too. I also want to just bring up for the city of Los Angeles, they are planning a parade, and I don't know if they're going to have it in Inglewood, but they're planning the parade this week. I think it's going to be Wednesday. So hump day in Southern California. And there's talk about how you can find it. The Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, and they're going to have a championship parade like the Rose Bowl parade that they often do down in Southern California. And when you think about it, they were saying it's going to be, I think, in South Los Angeles on Wednesday. They got a rally parade in South Los Angeles Wednesday. It's such a big metropolis. And then the festivities will kick off around 11 a.m. at the intersection of Royal Street and West Jefferson Boulevard along the University of Southern California campus and the University Park neighborhood where the route begins. And parade vehicles will take about 45 minutes to travel along the 1.1 mile route in Los Angeles along Figueroa Street. And that's about common for 45 minutes to drive. If you're in LA at rush hour, about 45 minutes to drive 1.1 miles. I'm like, that's nothing new. That's like LA all the time. At the same time, it's great for the Rams to celebrate their first championship in the city of LA. The first vehicles are scheduled to arrive around 11:45 at Exhibition Park. So people down in Southern California, if you want to go to the parade and sit in more traffic, you can do that too. If you want to go sit in more traffic, just go to almost any intersection in Los Angeles. all fair level war. I love what's going on in the world of sports. I got to also say, because I love when they did the parade for the Golden State Warriors in the Bay Area, they had that in downtown Oakland, and that was so amazing. They also had, for the Giants, they had that in downtown San Francisco. And San Francisco is more for, they had the Muni, also there's BART, there's other ways to get around the ferry buildings. And people take the ferry to get across the bay. And it's easier to get to a parade in Oakland than in Los Angeles. It's just lots and lots of freeways down in LA. So people have to get used to however they do that. I want to talk about something real quick here, because I talk about the black inventions in sports and communication as well as medicine. And when you think about it, Leonidas Berry was also a doctor. He invented the elderberry biopsy machine in 1955. His invention made it easier for doctors to collect tissue from inside the stomach without surgery. And then 5 years later, after inventing, it's called the gastroscope, Berry studied the stomach for alcoholics. Maybe people who drink too much, and a lot of them may have been drinking too much after Super Bowl 56. And he discovered that it was the liver and not the stomach that became diseased because of too much alcohol. So also, it changed the diagnosis and treatment of alcoholism forever. That's a black man. And so I love giving just paying homage to people who do things that are more than just, touchdown, home run, 3-point play. I love giving that out because it has a big name to it. And for African Americans in Black History Month, love making sure that's known. I also want to say, as people look at what's going on in the world of sports, the Olympic universe, athletes testing positive for substance matters. Now, we're looking at day 12 of the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing, and there's a Russian figure skater. I don't want to jack the name up, but Camila, and Valeva, I believe, tested positive for 3 substances used to treat heart conditions, according to a document released by a top sports court, and will compete Thursday in a free skate after an impressive short program routine. The 15-year-old was cleared to continue at the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics, despite being at the center of a doping scandal. Isn't that ironic? Athletes from Russia being accused of doping. In the finals in the men's slalom and in the freestyle ski Wednesday, we'll see other wide-open battles for gold. And obviously, everybody has their own thoughts about how we do it safely. And whatever people do to get the upper edge, they do it to keep the upper edge. Ironically, I think about an athlete being able to participate in the Olympics after being accused of what was found in that person's system. This is not just an accusation, it's based on what's found in the system. And then we have people like Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens that are being kept out of the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame for something that Barry Bonds was never convicted of. He was just convicted of people's opinion. And you have people in the Olympics, they checked their blood and found stuff in it. And they're still allowed to participate. So maybe that International Olympic Committee is a lot different than the baseball and how they deal with things. All's fair in love and war. It's just something to make you think about and make you go home. But when you think about it, it doesn't stop everybody from competing. And obviously they'll say, well, that was for a headache. That wasn't for whatever to help me get the competitive advantage. But be that as it may, it is what it is. I do want to just say that we have the Big C's NFL football, the final power rankings after Super Bowl 56. I have that coming up, and it's just my opinion, but I'm going to give that out because it's kind of sad to me that there's no more Big C NFL power rankings until the Super Bowl or until next season kicks off for the 2022 season. But give last year some praise. I give the 2021-22 season some praise. Really do appreciate that. Just going to give my thoughts on the power rankings, the final power rankings for the NFL football universe. And the winner gets the Big C burger. It's a tasty burger. And it comes with what's all those exotic meats, as well as a Big C, the Big C big cup of coffee. Comes in one size, and one size only, extra large. One size, extra large. Why's the cup gotta be so big? The beautiful SoFi Stadium. But Big C's NFL football power rankings gonna finish. I mean, it's sad because the season's over. And now we got to get into other things coming up for the draft, etc. That'll happen next year. But I'm just going to run down my power rankings. Number 32, the Houston Texans. They wrap up the number 32 spot. Number 31, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ahead of them, number 30, the New York Jets. And look at New York City. 2 of the worst franchises in NFL football. Number 29, the New York Giants. Number 28, Detroit Lions. Number 27, the Chicago Bears. They should have a better team next year. Number 26, the Carolina Panthers. Number 25, the Washington Commanders. They've had 3 name changes in the last 3 years. Number 24, not used to seeing this name so low, the Seattle Seahawks coming in. Number 24 in Big C's final 2021-22 NFL Power Rankings. Number 23, the Atlanta Falcons coming in at number 23. Number 22, the Miami Dolphins. Number 21 in Big C's NFL Power Rankings, the final, the Minnesota Vikings. Number 20 coming in Big C's NFL Power Rankings. Cleveland, this is for you. The Cleveland Browns coming in at number 20. Isn't that something? Cleveland had so much hope and poise for having a better season this year, but it didn't happen. They didn't make the playoffs, but they'll be back next year, maybe. Number 19, Big C's NFL Power Rankings. The Denver Broncos. Number 18, the who that say they're going to beat them Saints. The New Orleans Saints coming in number 18 in Big C's final NFL Power Rankings. Number 17, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 17 in Big C's NFL Power Rankings. Number 16, the Baltimore Ravens coming in at number 16 in Big C's NFL Power Rankings. Number 15, the Las Vegas Raiders coming in at number 15. Number 14 at Big C's NFL Power Rankings. The Indianapolis Colts, number 13, coming in at Big C's NFL Power Rankings. The Los Angeles Chargers, they also play in that big, beautiful stadium at SoFi Stadium. And if I get my producer to wake up, like Radio Raheem said, and do the right thing, wake up, the Chargers. The the Chargers coming in Big C's NFL Power Rankings, number 13. Number 12, the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 11, the Arizona Cardinals coming in at number 11 in Big C's final NFL Power Rankings. Number 10, we are all Patriots. The New England Patriots coming in at number 10 in Big C's NFL Power Rankings. Number 9, the defending or the former NFL champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 9. Number 8, how about them Cowboys? The Dallas Cowboys coming in number 8 in Big C's final NFL Power Rankings. I'm going to bring you in at number 7 in Big C's final NFL Power Rankings. The Tennessee Titans. I'm going to bring you in at number 6 in Big C's final NFL Power Rankings. The Green Bay Packers. I'm going to bring you in number 5 in the Big C's NFL final Power Rankings. The San Francisco 49ers. Bang, bang, none game. Number 4 in Big C's final NFL Power Rankings. Whoa, wait a minute. I got to say it. The Buffalo Bills. Isn't that something? I'm going to say number 3 in the final Big C's NFL Power Rankings. The Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2 in Big C's final NFL Power Rankings. The Cincinnati Bengals. And number 1 in the Big C's final NFL football Power Rankings. The Los Angeles Rams. Give that some praise. Give it some praise. We're going to take this call the Big C Pause, also known as the Big C Timeout. When I come back, we're going to talk more about what's going on in the sports universe. In the words of former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. I'll be back. All right, we are back on the Big C Balls, also known as the Big C Timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 23 podcast applications all over the universe. And also 4 TV applications. Really do appreciate that. Going to get into tonight's NBA basketball. Not a big schedule. People still dealing with the football hangover. And today is a beautiful Tuesday, so people have gotten back in town, etc. Just hung over on chocolate. Tonight's schedule for a beautiful Tuesday, February 15th. Isn't that something? Cleveland, this is for you. They're at the Atlanta Hawks down in the beautiful city of Atlanta. Dallas Mavericks at the Miami Heat. The Boston Celtics are taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. That's on TNT. And Boston's been playing good basketball of late. So has Philadelphia. Should be a nice march. It might even be a preview of a playoff matchup, too, coming up soon. Indiana, they're at the defending NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks. Charlotte is at Minnesota. Memphis is at New Orleans down in the state of New Orleans. The Pelicans, LA Clippers are down in the Valley of the Sun at 7 o'clock tonight, taking on the Phoenix Suns in the Valley of the Sun. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of NBA basketball. Players are rounding out. I'm going to have my thoughts tomorrow on where teams rank as far as who's the better teams right now and how we're going to position each team based on what's happened with the trades. I still think the thing that was going on with Ben Simmons and some of the media saying one side of their mouth that they want to focus on mental health and making sure that players are doing the best thing possible to stay healthy. Football players, basketball players, baseball players, golfers, everyone that plays sports, hockey players, race car drivers. There's so many things that people think about it. I just think it's important that we talk about the mental health thing and keeping people healthy. And who's to tell someone that this guy's faking mental health issues? That's like telling a woman during the Me Too movement that she's faking about being abused. And we had Hollywood stood up for that. When black men are saying we can't even get a job interview, they've already hired another white guy before they have me fly in for the job interview for the job that's already taken. So they can say, hey, we did our part with the Rooney Rule. We crossed all the boxes. But we know there's a lot of shenanigans that go on. So I just hope that Ben Simmons or whoever is going through issues, myself included, if you need help, just get some help. Call and ask a counselor, talk to you, whatever it is. Sometimes we all need that. A smart person goes to a doctor before they carry it into the doctor, if that makes sense to you. NBA free agents, there's so many things that happen. Some superstars that have changed teams. And when you think about James Harden and Kyrie Irving and Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, there's still some players that are free agents that can become free agents if they don't sign extensions between now and the month of June. And there are still some big marquee players that are making $30 and $40 million coming up if they have their contract extension. And that's in a season. Isn't that something? In a season, not like it's going to be over the duration of their contract, but that's in 1 year. And when I think about those names, they're out there. There's a lot of them out there. Teams are going to be making some choices about who they keep on the roster or who they send out and try to improve their NBA status. But I know for players going through issues, they got to deal with all kind of things. They just have to. And so I hope that we don't have this cavalier attitude, oh, this guy's faking that he's having some mental issues, because it happens to athletes. It happens to people who are in 9-to-5 jobs. It happens to everybody. So again, working in media, anyone can have their own opinion. But when you had today that Ben Simmons was officially introduced as a member of the Brooklyn Nets, there were questions about his exit from Philadelphia. We know people in Philadelphia, they hold no bones about it. They can be pretty rude toward their athletes. Oftentimes, these are people who never played athletics themselves, at least not at a high level. So it's one thing to tell a sports athlete that he's a bum when he has $100 million in the bank or when he plays pro ball. If he's a bum, what's that make you? For anybody on television, even former guys that say, oh, he's a bum, and if that's the case, then just go compete and take his job. But I do appreciate the fact that the young man, he's a young man, and he was going through some crap, and he said he had to get some help. He didn't want to talk about it. There's a lot of people in that situation. Oh, man, just man up. Man up, be macho, suck it up. You don't have to suck it up. Smart people get help. That's what men got to do. Get rid of that machismo crap. You have a 3-time All-Star who has not played since last May after requesting a trade and was acquired by the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, along with Seth Curry and Andre Drummond and 2 future first-round picks in the blockbuster deal that sent All-Star James Harden and Paul Millsap to the 76ers just last Thursday. But these men have their own issues in life. Everybody does. So I'm glad that if you just give people the chance to know there's help, you don't have to be tough and super tough to get some help. Like a colleague of mine that was saying she wished her husband would pass away when he had COVID. I said, that's pretty cruel. You say you're Catholic? What's that got to do with anything? But she says, you don't know what he was doing to me. She was going through some abuse. And so I felt bad for her. I can't tell anybody what to do in their own house. But at the same time, people just got to take care of themselves. All we really have in this world is our own mental health. You got to take care of that no matter what people think about you. The one thing about athletes is they're out in the public's eye. If someone drops a football, oh, that guy, he's a bum. He dropped the football. Well, if someone has a turnover in basketball, oh, what a bum. He turned the ball over. If someone strikes out in baseball, oh, what a bum. He struck out. Well, a lot of times you have people who are already miserable in their own lives and their own existence. And so their hope is that they can make other people miserable just like the one in the mirror. Mean people suck. And they know who they are. And they know they suck. And they try to do a lot of things in private, behind closed doors. But if you were to ever peel back the door to their own households, they have their own crap. And a lot of them are full of blippity blip blip. And they know they are. Full of shut down and shut up. That makes sense to you. Loose lips sink ship. So I'm glad that Ben Simmons was able to go out and do what a lot of people don't do when they're rich and they're powerful. He went out and got some help. Proud of him for that. There's a lot of other young people. Don't be machismo. Don't walk around with all that pride. Like Ben Rames said in the movie Pulp Fiction when he told the fighter Bruce Willis, that stinking sensation you're feeling, that's pride mixing with you. Blank pride. And he says your butt goes down in the 4th round. Just like they told Joe Burrow, your butt goes down in the 4th quarter. And they sacked him to end the game. Isn't that what Aaron Donald told Joe Burrow? They were trying to build up Joe Burrow as the next Joe Montana or Joe Namath. He's not there yet. But they tried to put him up on a pedestal. The Rams brought him down with that defense. And that's what they did. So anybody, again, I have a chocolate high. I've been sucking on chocolate all day. I can just put my finger in my mouth. I got a sweet tooth because I was a baby. I used to suck on my thumb. You can suck on your thumb too every day. Back in the day, there's a man by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali's right hand man. And he would always tell Ali, you flow like a butterfly. You sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. With all you've got to use, how can you lose? Ali would say, I'm so pretty, I can't possibly be beat. Because all these big cheeseburgers make me light on my feet. That's why I'm float like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. My beautiful mother always says there's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. If you know any man, woman, or child going through that garbage, pick up the phone and ask for help. Because no man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. And as we always tell you on every Big C Sports Show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.